Hi everyone, welcome to another Visa Bulletin update. We are talking about July 2024 and we have good news, surprisingly and unexpectedly. We have good news for people in EB2, even for people in EB1. So let's start this video. Hi, if you are new here, I'm Oscar, I'm a scientist, not a lawyer, and in this channel we talk about green cards like EB2 NIW or EB1A in which you can self-petition. And that means that you don't need to have a job offer, a company sponsoring you, and you can even do it without a lawyer, saving a lot of money. So today we are actually making this video the first time with the new logo here behind us, and we hope you like the new setup. We are going to improve it over the coming weeks. It's also a celebration because for once USCIS warned us about bad news and didn't deliver yet. Okay, so I'm going to be cautious also. I want to be happy for everyone, but I want to be cautious. So I'm going to tell you throughout this video what the good news are, where to be cautious about, so you can be ready. I mean, the purpose here is that you know what's going on. You can estimate when you're going to finish your green card process if you have started, or you can estimate the overall green card process in case you are about to start. And so let's start by reminding ourselves where you can find the Visa Bulletin. You just go to Google, you Google Visa Bulletin, and the first page here is a travel.gov official website from the State Department. You click on that and you will open this website, very official website, and that's the only place you should trust. And you will see on the left side the June 2024 Visa Bulletin, that's the current month. And then on the right side, at some point in the month, we don't know when, today is June 10th, and that's when they did it this month, but that is variable. You will see how they open the upcoming Visa Bulletin. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to compare June and July so we can see how things are moving. Okay, the Visa Bulletin is very important, like I said, because you can estimate your wait times. You can estimate when you're going to be able to finish your green card process. And in the Visa Bulletin, we have three sections. One section for family. We're not going to cover that section today because here we talk about employment-based green cards. Then we have employment green cards, and then we have diversity visa lottery. So we're going to focus on that second part, and we're going to see what's going on with EB1 and EB2, because in EB1 we have EB1A, and in EB2 we have EB2 NIW. So let's see what's going on. So I scroll down to that second section where we talk about employment base, and I stop in table A. I'm looking at June 2024 here, and I want to compare this table A with table A for July 2024. What is table A? Table A is called final action dates, and that's the date when a visa is available to you. That means that your priority date is current. When you start your EB2 NIW or EB1A process, you are given a priority date. That's the time you file your I-140. So now you have to compare that priority date to the date that is shown in table A in the Visa Bulletin. If your priority date is earlier than the date shown in the Visa Bulletin, that means that you can complete your process. There is a visa number available to you, and they can grant the green card. And this all comes from the system that the US uses of quotas. They are only giving 140,000 green cards per year. That's something that Congress mandates. So based on that quota, they can allocate that number of visas, and that creates some backlogs. So what these tables are doing is you are able to see, will I have a visa available for me during this fiscal year or not? So let's see what's happening with table A, which is, by the way, the more important table, the most important table, way more important than table B. And later, if you want, I can tell you why. So in June, for EB1, which is the first row here, we had a C. A C means that the category is current. Current means that there is no backlog, there's no wait time, so anyone can have a visa number available. So C for most countries except for China and India. China had a date of September 2022, and India had March 2021. So let's see what July has for EB1. July has a C current for most countries, and November 2022 for China, February 2022 for India. So let's recap. Most countries in EB1 are not changing, but China is advancing from September to November. That's good. 2 months advance, only 1 month passed from June to July. We're advancing 2 months. That's a good advance in the visa bulletin. So Chinese nationals should be happy to see this if they are applying for EB1. But look at India. India is going from March 2021 to February 2022. Okay, so almost 1 full year of advancing for India in the visa bulletin for EB1. I'm very, very, very happy about this news. News that honestly I did not expect. Okay, it is true that we are changing quarter from going from June to July. We are moving into the last quarter of 2024, fiscal year 2024, because the fiscal year ends in September. So we have July, August, and September, last quarter. So whenever there's a change of quarter, there's a bigger chance that a big movement can happen. But because also it's the last bit of the year, we kind of lose hope at the end of the year. But we shouldn't, because Indian nationals should be especially happy with this situation in the July 2024 visa bulletin for EB1. Okay, so congratulations to Indian nationals. More of you will be able to access that green card in this last quarter of the year. It seems so, unless we have some bad news moving forward in August. Hopefully not. Okay, that did happen for India last year at the end of the year. So let's see EB2. In EB2, we had a date for most countries of 15th of January 2023, and what the visa bulletin had said in the previous month, in June, at the end of the visa bulletin, we had a note that said, hey, most likely in July, we're going to see retrogression in this category, in EB2 for most countries, because we are reaching the quota that we can give out every year. So in my last video, I said, well, bad news, in July, most likely dates are going backwards. Retrogression means that dates move backwards, and that means that less people can access a green card. So that's the worst thing that can happen in the visa bulletin. But the news here is that if we take a look at what happens in July, is we have a date of 15th of March of 2023. Again, from January 2023 to March 2023. So not only we don't see retrogression, we are seeing movements forward, okay? And that is great, because we go from really bad news to actually good news. We only advance 1 month in real life from June to July, and the visa bulletin is jumping 2 months. So we are seeing that movement forward. Later, I'm going to show you the big picture of what has been happening in the previous months, so you can understand if this is indeed really good or is neutral. In the overall situation is not a big jump, but considering that we had been told last month by USCIS and the State Department that we're going to see retrogression and now we're not seeing it, that's not bad at all, okay? Now, here is where I wanted to stop and say also caution. Yes, today we're delivering good news to all of you watching, because USCIS allows us to do that. But we shouldn't forget that this is the change of quarter. Then we have August and September. Those are the 2 last months of the final quarter of fiscal year 2024. And we can still see bad news in those 2 months. Still, I think all things considered, overall, we should be happy. Perhaps we're going to see a stagnant visa bulletin during those 2 last months of the year, depending on the demand. I mean, that's what moves the visa bulletin, how many people are applying and getting adjustment of status and consular processing approved, how many people are consuming those 140,000 green cards per year. But, you know, we are only 2 months away. You know, we only have August and September. If things get really bad, really ugly, at least we only have those 2 months, and then October comes. And in October, guess what? The new quota starts. We have a new fiscal year starting, fiscal year 2025, and hopefully things will move much better in the visa bulletin, at least initially, okay? I don't do predictions. I know many of you will ask me in the comment section, please give me your prediction. I will not. I just tell you the big picture. I just tell you what is happening this month and what could happen. But of course, I don't have a crystal ball. I cannot tell you for sure how things will move. So let's continue taking a look at the visa bulletin. We'll continue with the visa bulletin update in a second, but before, let me introduce to you my websites, eb1greencard.info if you are interested on EB1A, and EB2NIW.info if you are looking for EB2 NIW. I have a lot of information for do-it-yourself applicants like yourself, people that don't have a job offer or they don't want to involve their company in this immigration process, and people that want to save a lot of money and by not paying a lawyer. If that's your choice, I really invite you to check out my online courses. I have one for EB1 and one for EB2 NIW. Here on the screen, I'm showing you the course content for EB2 NIW. That course is in English and in Spanish. I have more than 50 video lessons divided in more than 10 modules where I teach you everything you need to know, the requirements, how to meet the requirements, how to put together your cover letter. It doesn't matter if you are not a scientist like me. I have testimonials from engineers, from architects. Today, someone in the music arena actually emailed me saying that he got approved, his I-140 got approved, and he was an EB2 NIW course member, this course that you have in front of you. So join me. You can ask questions in each lesson, and once a month, we meet in a monthly live session where you can also ask questions face to face, and I'm also very, very happy to meet all of you. So let's go back to the video. I told you that there are two tables. Table A is the more relevant. Table B also exists. You should know about it. It's more relevant for people doing adjustment of status, okay? If you're in the US and you want to adjust your status from an H visa or F visa or whatever visa, then you may be able to file your adjustment of status based on Table B or Table A. Some months, USCIS will allow you to use Table A to file, not to finish the process, to file adjustment of status. Some months, they will tell you to use Table A. Guess what? Throughout the year, the fiscal year, they will move from Table B, which is more beneficial for you, to Table A. And now we are towards the end of the year, so most likely they are going to ask you to use Table A. That's why I'm not stopping much in Table B during these last visa bulletin updates. I just want you to know that it exists. You can see the dates here. You have a link here where they tell you which one you should use. Unfortunately, they update this usually a few hours later. You see that right now it says coming soon. So maybe in a few hours they will update this and they will tell you, okay, use final action dates for this month. Most likely that's what's going to happen. You can come back later and double check. But that's how this works, okay? So not spending a lot of time in Table B today. But what you should always check is you should go to the end of the visa bulletin and see if there are notes that USCIS and the State Department are giving us, some hints of what can happen in the coming months. And in June, we had this horrible note that said, look, there's going to be retrogression, most likely, in the next month, in July, to hold the number within the maximum allowed under the fiscal year 2024 annual limit. That's why I gave those bad news in June. But in July, we didn't see those things happening. And in fact, if you go down, there is no note. There is only a note about EB3. EB3, they say again that most likely there's going to be retrogression, but there's no mention to EB2 here. Now, I cannot tell you, is that because there's not going to be retrogression in August and in September? Or is that just because they already warned us in the June 2024 visa bulletin, and they are just considering that we are warned that could happen? Well, as I said earlier, I'm not a fortune teller. I wish I had that crystal ball that I could, use to tell you, yes, this is going to happen or this other thing is going to happen. I don't know for sure, but we will see it together in 1 month from now when they release the August 2024 visa bulletin. And before you go, I want to show you the big picture. What has been happening in the visa bulletin recently for EB2, which is the one that changes more than EB1. Let's take a look at that. So this is the spreadsheet that I have to follow what is happening in the visa bulletin. I've been doing that for many months. And here what I plot is the situation with table A in terms of the number of months that you would need to wait until you become current in the visa bulletin. So if you look at this graph, we see that at the end of 2022, we didn't have any wait time. Yes, that was the situation back then. It was normal for EB2 to not have any wait time, to be current in the visa bulletin. But if you have been following what's going on with the visa bulletin, we see that that is not the situation anymore. We have been seeing these numbers creep up. The wait time in months did increase until we reached a band between 14 and 17.5 months of wait time. Okay, that has been the situation for the past year. And we expected that this would again creep up towards the end of fiscal year 2024. I just plotted the last number, July, and as I said, it was good news. Not only no retrogression, also no stagnation, but we actually decrease a little bit the wait time. Okay, so we are still within those limits that we had been seeing for this EB2, which includes EB2 NIW in the visa bulletin, that wait time. So that is good to see. We're going to again see what happens in August and September as we close the fiscal year 2024. Now, that is the situation. One complaint that I have for USCIS, even though today we should be relatively happy, as I said, is that I hope one day they will just fix the day in the month when we are supposed to have the visa bulletin. So we don't have to be wondering, on the 9th, 8th, 12th of the month, is it today? Are they going to push the button and tell us what's going on with the visa bulletin? Thousands of lives really depend on this. And I mean, it doesn't matter really if it's one day or the other, but I know many of you are stressed out because of this issue. I totally get you. I've been through immigration processes, including this one, and it is stressing. Even if the visa bulletin was current, you would have a lot of factors to be stressed about. So why don't they just remove this factor of trying to wonder when they are going to release the visa bulletin? I think it would be very easy, but we're talking about the government here, and sometimes they don't do things in the most efficient way. By the way, also companies, sometimes they don't do things in the most efficient way. So what do you think? Should they just tell us, okay, on the 10th of every month, we're going to do this unless it's a holiday? Leave a comment below and let me know if my complaint is justified or you think I'm being dramatic, which could be the case. So also tell me what you think about this news. What do you expect moving forward? Are we going to continue seeing good news, or as the year comes to an end, we're going to continue with the previous warning, which was retrogression or stagnation? Let me know what you think. And as usual, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your support. I will see you in my course. I hope you choose to join us, and good luck. No matter if you choose my course or anything else, good luck in your EB2 NIW, EB1A green card process, or any other process you are in. Thank you.